and maybe I haven't spoken English for 2 weeks, or not 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before I spoke English. But actually, anyway, so maybe I need practice for creating this episode, because I haven't spoken English, as I have told you. I haven't spoken English for these weeks, and actually, so many things occurred last week and this week, and maybe to start with, so I'm creating this episode in January, maybe in the end of January or in the middle of January, around that, around that time I'm creating this episode. And in 2024, so many things happen, and so to start with, one of the most remarkable events, one of the most remarkable occurrences is the earthquake, which took place, or which hit a northern peninsula in my country. Not the peninsula can be famous in your country. And anyway, so and afterwards, the controversial, and in many ways, airplanes crashed each other, and one of the airplanes are supposed to carry some goods, or some things for helping the victims, or helping the local people who experienced that huge earthquake, which occurred on January 1st. And I'm sorry for this blaring siren, but actually, and anyway, so this is fun, because I'm intentionally incorporating outside sounds, or outside noises, or external noises outside my residence. So which is why this is fine. This can become this type of silence, or this type of for example, external voices, or people. So the conversations talked by passers-by can become become one of the topics for digressing. Anyway, so and I have fully digressed, but actually, to start with, I have literal amount of, I have small amount of time, or I have literal time to create this episode. And anyway, so first of all, I'd like to create a content, and the title of which is Case Study Orgasm Control for Research, and the conclusion is a new content has been created, and the title of which is the title of that content is Case Study Orgasm Control for Research, and the same. And I pronounced that title is the same. I'm sorry so I'm really bad at speaking English. That is because English is a foreign language for me, and which means my mother tongue is Japanese language, and I live in Japan. And but actually, which is why speaking English is really difficult. And but actually, I don't know whether it's fine to say, but actually, I don't know when I can finish this work. But actually, I'm creating a book about how to speak English, and this is a kind of advertisement. And I'm creating a book which is about how to speak English, and I'm an adult content creator. But actually, so there's some people, not some people say, but actually there is a reputation, or there is a hearsay that I don't think I think this is a hearsay, but actually, in some aspects, or in some how should I say, so in some facets, or in some perspectives, so my English skill is a kind of high. Anyway, I don't know whether, I don't know whether my English skill is good or not, or high or not, and I don't know whether what those people wanted to say about my English skill. And this is, and anyway, so that book is not the main track of this episode. And anyway, so orgasm control, a case study of orgasm control is what I wanted to introduce this time. So that actually the case is, the case is on investigation, which means the details are still on investigation, which is written in the section of the case. There's a section named the case in that online article I created recently. So I created this article, and I have uploaded this article maybe weeks before, and so which means you can take a look at that Well, you might have already read that article. You might have already read that article, and there's such a possibility. And anyway, so or you may have read that article, and anyway, so anyway, but actually, so if you'd like to find out this online article, or if you'd like to read this online article, so please take a look at or please access the description column of this episode so that you can find out a link to that article I created this time. And anyway, so I don't have to tell you the title of this written article or written content. And maybe I should tell you the summary. Summary is a beautiful female student at a graduate school carried out an underground research which is for investigating orgasm controls applies to men for long times and their effects. In the course of the research, she asked the cheerleader club, of which she had been a member, to control orgasms of some men she tempted and captured. Yeah, anyway, so those men are maybe masochistic men. Actually, I don't know. Actually, the details. The details of this case are on investigation according to a source of information. According to that account, not accountant, but actually so acquaintance. According to that acquaintance, and that person is not an accountant. And anyway, so English language is really confusing. Anyway, English language is really confusing in many ways, and one of the features about that confusing aspect is that so in some cases I mistakenly expose the information about the gender of for example in this case about the gender of that acquaintance. So so that acquaintance can be he or she, but actually if I call that acquaintance he, that means I have exposed the gender of that acquaintance, and if I called that acquaintance she, that means I have exposed the gender or the fact that that acquaintance is a woman. So I'd like to, so her characteristic is really brutal. Actually, please read that online article if you'd like to know the details, or if you'd like to know the case study of orgasm control. But actually, so if your eyesight's challenged, for example, and please don't worry about it. This is an article of Medium, so this has a function of reading aloud. So please play that article, and this is all the stuff I'd like you to know this time. And anyway, so by the way, if you'd like to know how to do orgasm control, I have an article apart from this article. I created an article or a content for describing how to do orgasm controls. And anyway, this is all the stuff I'd like you to know this time. And I'm thinking of so the title of I'm going to end this episode. The title of this episode is Case Study Orgasm Control for Research, and the conclusion is a new content has been created, and the title is the same. And please take a look at the description column of this episode so that you can find us a link to that case study. And if you'd like to know how to proceed orgasm control, or how to effectively control orgasm controls, or how to effectively controls orgasms. I'm sorry for my mistake. I'm sorry for my mistakes of handling English language, and that is because as I have told you, I'm a non-native speaker. So I'm thinking of writing the link to another article for describing how to do effective orgasm controls. And the title is, I haven't told you the title of that. I haven't told you the exact title of that article or of that content about describing how to do effective orgasm control. The actual I have found out the exact title, and the exact title is how to effectively control orgasms of men. And anyway, but actually I'd like to introduce in this episode another online content, which is case study orgasm control for research. And if if you have been or if you have got confused about which article I wanted to introduce, so please take a look at the title of this episode so that you can find out which article I wanted to, well, I have wanted to, well, which article I'm introducing right now. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you.